There are moments in life when time itself seems to pause. When the ordinary world fades into silence. And you sense something greater surrounding you. It's as if heaven leans closer. Whispering in tones your heart can hear. But your ears cannot. In those moments, your soul awakens. Not through fear or struggle. But through divine recognition. A recognition that something is shifting. That something is arriving. Maybe you felt it lately. The tension between what was and what's about to be. The stillness before a new beginning. The pull between the familiar and the unknown. That's not coincidence. That's not your imagination. That's the spiritual current of heaven moving in your life. That's the gentle voice of destiny calling your name. And in this very moment, you are not here by mistake. You did not click this message by accident. Heaven has orchestrated this moment. With precise and holy intention. Archangel Michael, the mighty protector. The warrior of light. The guardian who stands between darkness and truth. Has a message to deliver to you. Heaven has sent him not just to comfort. But to awaken. Not just to bless. But to activate. Because there are blessings that heaven has already released. But they have been waiting for one thing. Your readiness to receive. Archangel Michael says. Your blessing has arrived. Heaven commands you to open this immediately. Do not ignore it. If this message touched your spirit, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below to let the light keep spreading. This message is a divine call. A spiritual alarm ringing through your soul. Announcing that your waiting season is shifting into your receiving season. The angels have been preparing the atmosphere around you. Rearranging circumstances. Closing certain doors. And unlocking others. Things that once confused you will soon make perfect sense. You are stepping into a divine unveiling. A moment when what was hidden will finally be revealed. And so, as you listen now, still your heart. Let the noise of the world fade away. Let go of every doubt that whispers, not yet. Because heaven is saying, now. You've been faithful in silence. You've endured seasons that stretched your soul. You've prayed when it seemed like no one was listening. But the truth is, heaven has been listening all along. Every tear has been counted. Every prayer has been recorded. Every act of faith, even the smallest one, has been seen and honored. You have been walking a sacred path of preparation. And now, the promise meets the moment. The seed becomes fruit. The vision becomes reality. The word becomes fulfillment. This is not just another video. This is a message wrapped in divine energy. Spoken through faith. Carried by the breath of angels. And as you listen, you will feel something stirring inside. A quiet knowing that this is for you. Because it is. Heaven is calling you to open your heart. To open your hands. To receive the abundance that has been waiting to meet you. Take a moment now. Breathe deeply. Feel the peace of God settle around you like a cloak of light. Feel Archangel Michael's presence drawing near. His wings glowing with the radiance of divine authority. His sword gleaming with the power of truth. He stands beside you now. Guarding, guiding, empowering. Ready to lead you into what heaven has prepared. This is the hour of awakening. This is the moment heaven has appointed. This is your confirmation that the season of waiting has ended. Archangel Michael says. The door is open. The blessing is here. Heaven commands you to open it. And do not ignore this call. Now, let us walk together through this revelation. Let us unfold what heaven has sent. Let us step into divine timing. With faith as our key. And obedience as our door. Your heart knows, this message is meant for you. So listen closely. Because in the next moments, the veil between what is unseen and what is becoming visible will begin to lift. There comes a point in every spiritual journey when heaven begins to whisper louder than the world. You start to sense something changing, even when nothing in your surroundings seems to confirm it. It's a quiet pull, a holy stirring within your spirit, the unmistakable awareness that something is awakening. Archangel Michael speaks directly into this moment of awakening. He says, "Beloved, heaven has been preparing you for what is about to unfold. You have prayed for change, you have cried for breakthrough, and now, heaven has moved. Yet, before the blessing fully manifests, there must be recognition. Because the truth is, blessings often arrive disguised. They do not always appear in shining form or grand announcement. Sometimes they arrive wrapped in confusion, covered in challenge, hidden behind the face of a closed door." Michael wants you to see with spiritual eyes. He says, not everything that ends was a loss. Not every delay was denial. Not every silence meant you were forgotten. You see, heaven's language is not always spoken in words, it is revealed through movement, timing, and preparation. When something you wanted didn't happen, it wasn't punishment, it was preservation. Heaven knew what you didn't. The delay you once feared was the protection you needed. Every unanswered prayer carried divine purpose. Every moment of stillness was heaven aligning unseen details. Because the truth is, God never wastes waiting seasons. The silence you walked through was sacred. It was heaven reordering the path before you. And now, that same heaven declares, it's time to wake up. The moment has arrived. Michael reminds you that awakening doesn't mean rushing, it means realizing. It means remembering who you are, whose you are, and what you carry. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are a vessel of purpose. You were not forgotten in the shadows, you were being formed in them. The spiritual awakening begins when you shift your perspective, when you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and begin asking, "What is heaven teaching me through this?" That simple shift opens your awareness to divine timing. You begin to see that nothing in your story was wasted. The heartbreak made you softer in spirit. The disappointment built spiritual endurance. The silence strengthened your faith. Every single moment was a piece of heaven's preparation. Michael's message carries urgency, heaven has moved. The energy of your life is shifting. The atmosphere around you is responding to what has been spoken over you. It's time to open your eyes to what is unfolding. You might not see the full picture yet, and that's okay. Faith doesn't require sight, it requires trust. The call to awake is a call to trust again, even after all the letdowns, even after the pain. Michael says, "Do not let your past delays blind you to your present miracle." The same God who was with you in the valley is now walking you into the promise. What you once prayed for is no longer a faraway dream, it's being delivered into your reality. The shift is happening now. Heaven is awakening your awareness. You will begin to notice signs, subtle confirmations, divine alignments, unexpected peace, doors opening with ease, words or encounters that stir something deep inside you. These are not coincidences, they are signals from the divine, assuring you that you are in sync with heaven's rhythm. You've entered the season where the spiritual and the natural begin to overlap. The unseen is making itself known. The blessings that were stored for you in the spiritual realm are now translating into tangible form. But Michael says, you must be awake to receive what has been sent. Too many blessings are missed not because heaven didn't release them, but because the heart was too weary, the eyes too distracted, or the mind too doubtful to notice their arrival. So he calls you, gently, yet with divine authority, to awaken your awareness. Begin to expect the goodness of God again. Speak faith over your life again. Reopen your heart to the idea that things can go right for you, because they can, and they will. The angels have been standing guard over the promise, waiting for this very moment when heaven declared, "It is time." You may still feel unsure, wondering if you're ready, if you're worthy, if it's really happening. But heaven has no doubt. Heaven sees your heart, your endurance, your growth, and proclaims, "This one is ready." This is your awakening, not to strive harder, but to believe deeper. Not to chase after what is coming, but to stand still and let it arrive. The door that once seemed sealed is already unlocked, all you have to do is walk through it in faith. Michael's light surrounds you now, clearing confusion, dissolving fear, and awakening courage. He reminds you, you have been prepared for this hour. You are not late. You are right on time. So take this as your divine confirmation. The waiting is ending. The alignment is complete. The blessing has arrived. You don't need to chase it, simply awaken to it. You don't need to question it, simply receive it. You don't need to fear it, simply trust it. Because heaven has spoken, your blessing has arrived. Open your heart, for this is the time appointed. This is your call to awake, to rise from old doubt, to stand in new faith, and to step boldly into the light of what has already been written in your favor. Bless someone today by sharing this message. Like, subscribe, and comment "Amen" if you receive it in faith. There is a sacred rhythm to heaven's movements, a divine pulse that governs the flow of everything in creation. Every sunrise, every answered prayer, every door that opens and every one that closes, all of it dances to the rhythm of divine timing. Archangel Michael speaks clearly here. He says, "Do not be anxious about what has not yet appeared, for heaven's clock does not tick by your calendar. It beats according to divine preparation." You see, divine timing is not about delay, it's about alignment. It's not about waiting aimlessly, it's about being made ready. What you thought was stillness was actually sacred synchronization. Heaven was not withholding your blessing, it was orchestrating every detail so that when it arrived, nothing could steal it from you. Many times you wondered, why is it taking so long? Why can't I see movement? Michael responds, because heaven moves with precision, not pressure. Heaven will never release something prematurely. Just as fruit ripens only when it's ready, so too your blessing needed time to mature. The circumstances around you, the people involved, even the development of your own spirit, all of it had to reach perfect harmony. Divine timing is like the rising of the tide. You can't rush it, you can't resist it, and you can't stop it once it's in motion. There were moments when you tried to force open doors that weren't yet meant to open, and heaven gently held you back, not to punish you, but to protect what was being prepared for you. Archangel Michael says, you were not being ignored. You were being positioned. Think back for a moment. How many times did a "no" later save you from pain? How many detours eventually led you to a better destination? How many delays gave you time to grow stronger, wiser, and more discerning? Every apparent delay was a setup for divine alignment. Every redirection was heaven's hand steering you toward what truly belonged to you. The weight you felt while waiting wasn't the absence of movement, it was the gravity of destiny being drawn into your life. Heaven was constructing the foundation beneath what you prayed for, ensuring that when the blessing came, it would last. There's a difference between something that comes fast and something that comes right. Quick blessings can fade, aligned blessings remain. Heaven doesn't do temporary. Heaven creates eternal impact. Michael says, the reason you felt heaviness in the waiting is because your blessing is weighty. It carries purpose, responsibility, and divine favor. It's not ordinary, and neither are you. You were never being punished, you were being perfected. The delay refined you. The silence trained your spiritual ear to hear heaven's whisper. The waiting purified your motives, until what you desired aligned with what heaven willed. That's why things are beginning to move now, because your spirit finally matches the vibration of the promise. Michael continues, divine timing is never early, never late, but it always feels sudden once it arrives. One moment, it seems like nothing is happening, the next, everything changes. That's how heaven works, silently, invisibly, powerfully. While you were sleeping, the roots of your promise were growing deep beneath the surface. While you were praying, angels were rearranging divine appointments. While you were doubting, heaven was finalizing the plan. You see, divine timing does not rush, because what is meant for you cannot pass you by. The blessing that carries your name cannot be stolen, delayed forever, or redirected. It can only be prepared. And now, that preparation is complete. Heaven has whispered, now. The tides are shifting. The alignment has been sealed. What was promised is now being revealed. Michael says, you have endured the night, now you stand at dawn. It may not look like much has changed around you yet, but the change has already begun within you. You are now vibrating at a higher frequency of faith, of expectancy, of readiness. Your soul has matured. Your faith has grown deep roots. And now, you are in rhythm with heaven's heartbeat. Think of divine timing as a bridge between promise and manifestation. You walked across it in faith, step by step, season by season. You didn't give up, even when the path was dark. And because you kept walking, you've now reached the other side. The blessing that once felt far away is no longer distant, it's within reach. Heaven's timing has brought it to your doorstep. Michael reminds you, the wait was never wasted. Every moment was preparation. Every prayer was part of the construction. And now that you are aligned, everything that belongs to you begins to move toward you. What you thought was delayed will arrive swiftly. What was once out of reach will fall into your hands with ease. What you prayed for in tears, you will soon hold in joy. This is the mystery of divine timing. It appears slow, but it manifests suddenly. Michael concludes this part of the message with these words. When you trust the timing of heaven, you invite miracles to happen effortlessly. You no longer chase what is already chasing you. You no longer beg for what heaven has already written in your favor. You simply align, and it arrives. So release the weight of impatience. Let go of fear, doubt, and timelines that were never yours to control. The universe, guided by divine hands, has been moving everything into place. You are not behind schedule. You are not forgotten. You are perfectly on time for your own divine unfolding. Now, stand still and take a deep breath. Feel the energy shifting around you. Feel the peace that comes from knowing heaven has gone before you. Every second, every delay, every not yet was heaven saying, wait, it's not small enough for you. Wait, I'm preparing something greater. And now, the waiting has done its work. The alignment is complete. This is the weight, and the beauty, of divine timing. It's not a burden to fear, but a rhythm to trust. Because the same God who ordered the stars and commands the angels has also ordered the steps of your destiny. And now, those steps lead directly into the promise prepared for you. There are moments in your life when you felt forgotten. Times when it seemed like your prayers were floating into silence, unanswered, unheard, and unseen. But Archangel Michael wants you to know today that in those very moments, heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was preparing you. You see, blessings that carry divine weight cannot simply be handed to you, they must be entrusted to you. And that means God had to make sure your heart, your mind, and your spirit were strong enough to carry what you once prayed for. Think about the seed hidden beneath the soil. For months, it appears as if nothing is happening. To the eye, the ground looks the same, silent, still, unchanging. But beneath the surface, roots are spreading, forming, anchoring deep into the earth. The seed is becoming something greater than itself. The pressure, the darkness, the waiting, all of it is part of its becoming. That's you. The reason heaven kept you in the dark for a season was not to punish you, but to prepare you. You were being rooted in patience, shaped by faith, and built through surrender. Every delay you thought was a denial was actually divine construction. The unseen hand of preparation was molding you for something you couldn't yet perceive. Archangel Michael says, your blessing has arrived, but it had to arrive in alignment with your readiness. Many times, the human heart cries, Lord, I'm ready now, while heaven gently whispers, not yet, there's still more to strengthen, still more to heal. It's not rejection, it's refinement. It's not punishment, it's protection. Because God never gives half-formed blessings. He doesn't rush what carries eternal purpose. He allows the wait because He knows what you cannot see. The weight of the promise and the preparation of your spirit must align perfectly. You may not realize it, but during your hardest seasons, Archangel Michael stood watch over you. Each tear, each night of exhaustion, each time you felt like giving up, heaven recorded it. And in those times, your faith was doing something powerful, it was maturing. You were learning to trust what you couldn't understand. You were learning to believe even when it didn't make sense. And now, heaven says, you've passed the test. The strength that grew in the unseen is what's opening the door now. The blessing that has arrived is not just about receiving, it's about carrying something divine. You've been stretched, tested, and purified, not because God wanted you to suffer, but because He knew what He was preparing you for was far too sacred to be handled with unsteady hands. Archangel Michael reveals that many of you are entering a season of spiritual maturity. You will start to see why certain people had to leave, why certain opportunities didn't open, and why you were asked to wait. Every no had a higher yes behind it. Every closed door was redirecting you to divine timing. This is the moment when you look back and realize that what felt like delay was actually divine synchronization. You weren't being held back, you were being lined up with the precise coordinates of destiny. Now, as you stand on the edge of this new season, heaven says, don't look at the blessing as a reward, look at it as a responsibility wrapped in divine grace. You've been entrusted with this gift because you've proven your heart can hold it with gratitude and humility. The blessing that's arriving now is not fragile, it's fortified, and so are you. So, if you've been feeling a stirring in your spirit lately, a quiet sense that something is about to unfold, that's not your imagination. It's your alignment. It's heaven's way of signaling that the waiting season has fulfilled its purpose. Archangel Michael stands beside you even now, saying, you are ready. You are equipped. The unseen hand that prepared you is now releasing what has been waiting for you. And as this realization sinks in, remember this truth: nothing you lost was wasted. The waiting was not empty. The years you thought were gone were the very foundation of your breakthrough. Heaven doesn't forget the faithful. Your obedience, your tears, your quiet perseverance, they have all written a testimony that heaven now honors. The blessing you are stepping into isn't random. It's not by luck or coincidence. It's the result of divine orchestration, the unseen hand of preparation bringing you face to face with answered prayer. You are stepping into a divine moment that was written long before you could comprehend it. Every trial has led you here. Every silent season has shaped your soul. There is a sacred stillness that falls upon the soul when heaven begins to move. You can feel it, not always in your circumstances first, but deep within your spirit. A quiet shift. A peace that doesn't make sense. A strange calm in the middle of uncertainty. That is the first sign. The invisible movement of God before the visible manifestation of your blessing. Archangel Michael says, your blessing has arrived, but you must open it, not with your hands, but with your awareness. Heaven doesn't deliver blessings like earthly gifts wrapped in paper and ribbons. No, heaven delivers them as divine moments, disguised as opportunities, encounters, and inner revelations. What looks ordinary is often holy. What feels like coincidence is often orchestration. And so, Michael whispers, do not overlook the small signs. Do not dismiss the ordinary days. Your blessing is woven into them. The greatest miracles rarely arrive with thunder. They come softly, wrapped in divine timing, often disguised as something familiar. You may wake up one morning and feel a deep peace, even though your circumstances haven't changed. That is a sign the shift has already begun in the spiritual realm. The blessing is here, it has already been released. The atmosphere around you begins to respond to divine command. Archangel Michael says, "You will know heaven is near when what once disturbed your spirit no longer holds power over you. The battle no longer feels like a burden, it feels like victory waiting to unfold." This is how the blessing first announces itself, not through things, but through transformation. The moment your heart changes, the blessing finds its doorway. That argument that suddenly no longer triggers you. That fear that loses its voice. That forgiveness you finally offer after years of pain. Those are signs of heaven's movement. That is how the door opens, through alignment of spirit. You see, God's blessings aren't random acts of generosity, they are responses to readiness. When your inner world becomes peaceful enough to receive, the outer world begins to rearrange itself to reflect it. Heaven's delivery is precise. It won't miss your address, but it will wait until your door is open. Many people try to force open what God meant to flow. When you try to make something happen before it's time, you step out of the rhythm of grace. But when you stand still in faith, believing that what God promised is already on its way, you allow divine energy to do the heavy lifting. Archangel Michael teaches, faith is the key that unlocks what obedience built. Every prayer you prayed, every act of faith you made, every time you chose to trust instead of fear, those moments built the container that can now hold your blessing. Now is not the time to rush. It's the time to receive. And reception isn't about striving, it's about surrender. To receive is to open your heart and say, "God, I am ready to experience the fullness of what you've prepared for me. Not by my power, but by yours." In that simple prayer, you align heaven and earth. You signal to the divine that you are ready not just to hold the blessing, but to honor it. For some, this may mean letting go of control, releasing the need to know how or when it will all come together. For others, it's about releasing guilt, the feeling that you're unworthy of the good things coming. But Archangel Michael reminds you, you are not receiving because of perfection, you are receiving because of alignment with divine mercy. God doesn't wait for you to be flawless, He waits for you to be open. When your heart says yes to heaven, heaven says yes to you. Every blessing you receive contains the seed of more. Gratitude is what multiplies it. When you begin to thank God not just for what you can see, but for what you can sense in faith, you activate divine increase. Gratitude tells heaven, "I trust you, even when I can't see the full picture." And heaven responds to gratitude with overflow. Archangel Michael reveals, gratitude transforms a single blessing into a stream of abundance. Because gratitude changes your vibration, it shifts your energy from waiting to receiving, from fear to faith, from lack to overflow. So, as your blessing begins to unfold, speak your gratitude out loud. Write it down. Tell God thank you for what has come, and what is still on the way. Now, let's look at how to recognize the specific signs Archangel Michael says you will begin to notice as your blessing arrives. Sudden peace in uncertain places. You stop feeling anxious about the things that used to keep you awake at night. You can't explain it, but you just know things will work out. That's heaven calming your spirit before your breakthrough becomes visible. Divine encounters. Someone unexpected may reach out. A conversation may bring unexpected clarity. Opportunities begin to appear without you chasing them. These are not coincidences, these are orchestrations. Acceleration. What took months suddenly begins to move in days. The energy shifts. Doors that were locked suddenly open. Delays dissolve. You'll feel like everything is catching up to the promise. Revelation. You begin to see your past differently. The pain now makes sense. The lessons now feel like gifts. This shift in perspective is heaven's way of confirming that the waiting season has completed its purpose. Release. Sometimes, right before the blessing, something or someone exits your life. It can feel painful, but Archangel Michael assures you, this is divine clearing. The old energy must move so the new blessing can land safely. Archangel Michael says, the moment you say yes to God's will, you are unsealing the envelope of heaven. This isn't about material possessions, it's about spiritual positioning. When your heart opens, heaven rushes in. When you align with trust, the blessing begins to take form. It may come as a job, a relationship, a healing, or a revelation, but whatever shape it takes, it carries one signature: peace. Peace is heaven's handwriting. If something brings confusion or heaviness, it's not from God. But if it brings clarity, calm, and confirmation, even in uncertainty, it's a divine blessing. That's how you discern it. The energy of heaven never rushes, never panics, never manipulates. It simply aligns, flows, and fills. So as you walk into this season, Archangel Michael urges you to pause and say, I receive this blessing with peace. I will not rush it. I will not fear it. I will simply walk in faith. Every step you take in trust is like unlocking another door. Every word of gratitude opens another gate. Your entire life begins to shimmer with divine orchestration. You start seeing how all the pieces fit together, how even the heartbreaks were part of your preparation. And that realization humbles you. It softens you. It reminds you that you were never walking alone. For even when you felt abandoned, Archangel Michael stood guard over your destiny. Every detour was recorded. Every tear was counted. Every promise was preserved. Now heaven says, open your hands, beloved. What you have been waiting for is here. Not coming. Not on the way. Here. Right now, in this very moment, God is aligning people, opportunities, and situations that will confirm this message. The evidence will begin to appear in your daily life, and when it does, remember this truth. You didn't earn it, you aligned with it. Heaven has not forgotten you. The angels are rejoicing because what was once delayed is now being delivered. So breathe deeply. Feel that peace surrounding you right now. That is your sign. That is heaven whispering, it's time. The door has opened. The light is pouring in. Your blessing has arrived. When heaven releases a blessing into your life, that blessing is not fragile, but it is sacred. It carries divine intention. It carries purpose. It carries destiny woven into its very structure. And because of that, Archangel Michael says there must be protection, discernment, and care in how you carry what God has entrusted to you. Heaven has delivered something into your spirit that does not just belong to this moment, it belongs to your future. What you are stepping into now must be held with wisdom, guarded with awareness, and nurtured with faith. This part of the message focuses on protecting the blessing, sustaining the blessing, and stewarding the blessing. Let us unfold them slowly, deeply, and with reverence. Protecting the blessing, guarding what heaven has released. Every divine blessing attracts both light and resistance. Not because the blessing is weak, but because the spiritual realm recognizes its power. Archangel Michael says, the moment heaven opens a door for you, the enemy seeks to plant confusion. This is why discernment is essential. This is why spiritual clarity is important. This is why protecting your peace becomes non-negotiable. You may begin to notice small distractions, sudden negativity, unexpected conflict, old fears resurfacing, people from the past returning, or moments of doubt trying to cloud your joy. These are not coincidences, they are spiritual attempts to shake your confidence. But Michael stands by you with his sword of truth, saying, do not be moved. What heaven has given you cannot be taken from you, unless you surrender it through fear. Fear opens cracks. Doubt drains energy. Comparison dims clarity. But faith seals. Faith strengthens. Faith protects. Your first assignment after receiving a blessing is to guard your atmosphere. Not everyone should have access to the new you, the new season, or the new elevation. Some people are attached to the version of you that you outgrew. Others carry energy that disrupts your peace. Archangel Michael says, protect your blessing by protecting your boundaries. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Some blessings require privacy. Some seasons require silence. Some miracles are safest when nurtured quietly. Even in Scripture, many divine moves were done in hidden places before being revealed. Jesus was hidden in Egypt. Moses was hidden in the river. Joseph was hidden in prison. David was hidden in the field. Why? Because what is divine must first be protected before it is presented. Your blessing may need the same. Sustaining the blessing, the energy you carry shapes what you keep. Receiving is only the first step. Sustaining is what transforms a blessing into a lifestyle. Archangel Michael wants you to know that your energy determines the longevity of your blessing. If you received it in joy, sustain it with gratitude. If you received it in peace, sustain it with prayer. If you received it through faith, sustain it with consistency. The enemy does not fear the blessing itself, he fears what the blessing will produce in you. Blessings expand your belief. Blessings expand your boldness. Blessings expand your spiritual authority. That's why maintaining your inner alignment is essential. Michael says, protect your mind, for the battle always begins in thought. Replace fear with faith. Replace doubt with declaration. Replace uncertainty with surrender. You sustain your blessing by maintaining the vibration that attracted it. When heaven moves within frequency, peace, faith, obedience, love, gratitude. Return to those energies daily. Speak affirmations. Meditate on God's promises. Keep your environment uplifting. Limit exposure to negativity. Stay spiritually rooted. Your blessing was born in heaven's energy, keep it alive in heaven's atmosphere. Stewarding the blessing, becoming a vessel heaven can trust again and again. A blessing is not just something you receive, it is something you carry. You are not simply a recipient. You are a steward. You are a vessel. You are a partner in divine unfolding. Michael reveals that many people lose blessings because they forget that blessings require responsibility, intentionality, and humility. To steward your blessing means honoring it, nurturing it, using it wisely, allowing it to shape you, and letting it draw you closer to God. Heaven does not release blessings to inflate your pride, but to elevate your purpose. The question is not just, what did God give me? The deeper question is, what will I do with what God gave me? If your blessing is a relationship, steward it through love and communication. If your blessing is a new opportunity, steward it through consistency and excellence. If your blessing is healing, steward it through healthy choices. If your blessing is clarity, steward it through obedience. If your blessing is provision, steward it through generosity. Archangel Michael says, steward what heaven entrusts to you, and heaven will trust you with even more. When God sees that you honor what He gave, He prepares the next blessing behind it. What you steward becomes what you multiply. The spiritual shield around your new season. In this season, you are not walking alone. Archangel Michael surrounds your blessing with a shield of divine light. He declares that no negative energy, no weapon, no jealousy, no confusion, and no spiritual interference can touch what heaven has endorsed. Michael stands with you, sword drawn, wings extended, ready to protect what God has released. But he also reminds you, stay aligned with heaven, and the blessing will remain protected. To stay aligned, you must choose daily, faith over fear, truth over emotion, peace over pressure, obedience over impulse, purpose over distraction. These choices build a spiritual fortress around your blessing. Understanding why heaven waited until now. Before this moment, you were not weak, but you were still growing. You were not unworthy, but the blessing was still forming. You were not forgotten, but heaven was orchestrating details beyond your sight. Now the timing is perfected. Now the alignment is complete. Now the blessing is placed in your hands. And heaven trusts you with it. Archangel Michael says, you have become the person who can carry what you once could only dream. This is why it's vital to protect your energy now, because the person you are today is the gatekeeper for what heaven will entrust to you tomorrow. A final word from Archangel Michael for this part. Do not fear losing what heaven has given you. What is birthed by divine intention cannot be destroyed by human interference. Your role is not to fear, but to steward, not to worry, but to trust, not to grasp, but to receive. Heaven has placed a blessing in your hands. Now become the vessel that carries it with wisdom, confidence, and grace. Your blessing is not fragile. Your blessing is protected. Your blessing is sustained. Your blessing is anchored in divine purpose. And you are ready to carry it. Heaven begins to stir around you now, as though the very atmosphere is alive with purpose. You might not see it with your physical eyes, but in the spirit, the movement is undeniable. The energy of divine acceleration is wrapping itself around your life. The delays that once held you back are being dismantled. Every unseen chain that tried to keep you bound to your past is being broken, quietly but powerfully, by the hand of God. There is a spiritual unlocking happening. The gates of heaven are opening wider over your destiny. Where you once felt forgotten, you are about to be remembered in ways that will leave you speechless. The silence you've endured was never abandonment, it was divine strategy. Heaven was not ignoring you, heaven was preparing you. Archangel Michael stands at the threshold of this breakthrough moment, holding the sword of truth and the shield of divine justice. With every breath, he is clearing the air around you, cutting away the cords of fear, anxiety, doubt, and old attachments that no longer serve your future. Every lie that told you, it's too late, is being silenced by the voice of truth that declares, your time has come. This is the part of your story where heaven intervenes. Where God says, enough. Enough of the waiting. Enough of the suffering. Enough of the confusion. Enough of the false endings that made you question your purpose. You are stepping into the clarity you've been praying for. You are moving into alignment with everything that was promised to you before you were even born. God has not forgotten what He said. Every promise, every vision, every dream that seemed buried under disappointment is coming alive again. There is a holy resurrection energy sweeping through your spirit right now. You can feel it, it's that deep sense of, something is shifting. That's not wishful thinking, that's divine confirmation. You have been walking through the fire, but the fire did not destroy you. It purified you. It refined you. It stripped away what was temporary so that what is eternal could stand strong. The storms you faced weren't there to punish you, they were sent to reveal you. They revealed your strength, your faith, your persistence, and most importantly, your trust in God. The truth is, you could have given up. You could have walked away. You could have said, it's too much. But you didn't. And heaven took note of that. Every moment you chose faith over fear became a seed sown into your future. Now those seeds are blossoming into harvest. The doors that once refused to open will now open with ease. What was withheld will now be released without resistance. This is your moment of divine exchange. The pain you endured is being exchanged for peace. The rejection you faced is being exchanged for redirection. The closed doors that made you cry are being exchanged for open gates that will make you rejoice. Heaven is returning to you everything the enemy tried to steal, multiplied and purified. Archangel Michael says, I am clearing your path. The road that once looked impossible is being made straight. The obstacles that looked immovable are being lifted by divine command. You are about to witness what happens when heaven fights for you. You are about to see how quickly God can change everything once the appointed time arrives. And beloved, that time is now. No more striving. No more struggling to make things happen by your own strength. The Spirit of God is taking over. Where your hands grew weary, His power will take hold. Where your understanding ended, His wisdom will begin. This is not the season to push harder, it's the season to surrender deeper. Because when you surrender, heaven moves swiftly. Archangel Michael is not only guarding you, He is guiding you into divine appointments. You will begin to meet people who carry keys to your next season. You will find yourself in the right places at the right times. Opportunities will begin to find you because divine favor has marked your name. This favor isn't ordinary, it's heaven's signature upon your destiny. And here's the truth: what's coming will not require you to chase or compete. It will flow to you naturally because it was designed for you. What God has for you will not miss you, and what misses you was never meant to be yours. You can rest in that truth now. The heavens are speaking over your life. Be still. You are safe. You are seen. You are protected. You are loved. The anxiety that has tried to take over your thoughts is dissolving in the presence of divine peace. God's light is entering every dark space, illuminating your path, healing your heart, restoring your faith. Every battle you fought in secret has been witnessed in heaven. Every silent prayer, every hidden tear, every quiet act of faith has been stored as holy evidence. And now, heaven is moving on your behalf. The scales are tipping in your favor. Justice is being served in divine timing. Archangel Michael is saying, "Do not fear the unknown." What lies ahead is not chaos, it is clarity. It is alignment. It is victory. You are not walking into uncertainty, you are walking into divine design. Your angels are surrounding your home right now, creating a fortress of light. You are being shielded from spiritual attacks, from confusion, and from energies that do not align with your purpose. You are being elevated above the noise, into peace that surpasses understanding. Take a deep breath. Feel it. That weight you've been carrying, it's lifting. That heaviness around your spirit, it's breaking. You are being anointed for your next assignment. God is giving you new strength, new courage, new clarity. From this moment forward, no weapon formed against you will prosper. No force of darkness will overtake you. You are divinely guarded by Archangel Michael and guided by the Holy Spirit. You are walking under heaven's open window. And as you move forward, remember this: you don't need to see every step. You just need to trust the one who orders them. God's plan has always been perfect, even when you couldn't see it. Every delay was protection. Every detour was preparation. Every ending was a setup for something far greater. So walk with confidence, not in yourself, but in the God who goes before you. Walk knowing that heaven is backing every move you make in faith. Walk knowing that your angels are surrounding you, clearing your way. This is your moment of divine alignment. The waiting is over. The shift has begun. Heaven's light is upon you, and nothing can stop what's coming next. Stay in faith. Stay in peace. And stay ready, because what God is about to do will exceed your greatest expectations.